Welcome to NSA E-Nuggets series, a series of live talks on topics relating to active aging. These live talks will take place every Tuesday and Friday at 2 p.m. here on C3A's Facebook page. You can share this live video with your family and friends too. After the live session, this video will be made available on both our Facebook page and YouTube channel.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Joy. I'm a mindfulness teacher and clinical psychologist working at Mind Science Center. Today, I'm going to talk about the present gift of mindfulness, an introduction to mindfulness. With a brief practice of mindful breathing exercise, we will come to understand how the mind works and also together investigate our mental states that take us away from the joy of the present moment, and how mindfulness could be a gift to you to keep boredom and anxiety at bay during this stay-home challenge. So are you ready? This talk will be a little bit more participative. So first, let's receive the gift, a mindful breathing exercise. So get yourself ready and find a comfortable and relaxed posture. Maybe you are sitting or lying down, or try to straighten your back a little bit. So allow the breath, allow the air to come in, and also maybe open your chest a little bit to receive the air. And when you feel ready, may take some time to get yourself ready, and you may close your eyes or keep a soft gaze in front of you that is not too distracting. And gently take a few natural, slow breaths. And gently, kindly bring your attention to the physical sensations of the breath in the body. So if you are doing this for the first time, you may help yourself by placing a hand on your belly to feel the movement of the belly when you breathe in and out. Or you could put one hand on the chest to help you feel the movement, feel the physical sensations of the breath in the body. Just let the breath come in and go out naturally. You don't have to change your breath in any way, but just let your attention rest on the breath. And from time to time, you may realize your mind wanders off. That's perfectly normal. If you recognize your mind goes off already, then gently acknowledge and bring your attention back again to the physical sensations, the movements of the body when you breathe in and out. Just get a sense of the breath coming in and going out. Anytime when you feel ready, okay, you may end this practice, and let's come back to this talk again. So we all have a little sample of this mindful breathing. How is everyone doing? Is it easy to focus on the breath? Is it easy to find your breath? Or are you in the present moment with your breath? Where does your mind go? You may find the gift is not so easy to receive. Your mind may be like a little chatterbox. So if your mind is busy going elsewhere, it's perfectly normal. You are not alone. So let's look at how our mind works. Actually, there's a study from Harvard University investigating our wandering mind. These are the key findings. The first, they found that actually on average, our mind wanders off around almost half of the time, 46.9% of the time. When we are doing one thing, our mind is on another thing. And the second finding, people are less happy when their mind is wandering off, no matter what they are doing. It means no matter we are doing a pleasant thing or stressful, unpleasant thing, as long as our mind is not on this thing we are doing, generally we are less happy. And the third finding is what people are thinking in the head is a better predictor of their happiness level rather than what they are actually doing. So you may find yourself, sometimes you are enjoying a meal, you are doing a very pleasurable activities, that your hobby, but suddenly you think about, oh, I haven't done this work, or I haven't done these household chores, then suddenly it spoiled your mood. So that's exactly how tricky our mind is. And that's why at the end of this article, the authors concluded that a human mind is a wandering mind. And a wandering mind is an unhappy mind, sadly. And the ability to think about what is not happening, it is a cognitive advancement that comes at an emotional cost. So relating back to our COVID-19 situation and current circuit breaker measures, we can see that our basic health survival needs are threatened during this time, and our attention is so easily drawn to the negative stimulus, negative information, negative news, the rumors, and our mind naturally tends to wander to the negative thinking. We tend to worry more, think more, and our mind actually has advanced through the evolution to help us plan ahead, think ahead to prevent harm. But this, though it helps us to survive, but actually it comes at emotional cost, that we are more prone to negative emotions such as fear and anxiety. So we must be mindful of our mind. So let's look at our wandering mind. Maybe just now in the very brief mindfulness exercise, and also while you are staying at home during these periods, you may find your mind that easily go into these two mental states. So on the one hand is the boredom, on the other hand is anxious, anxiety, worry. So on the one hand, if we are not thinking about anything, then we feel bored. What kind of mental state it is? So when we are bored, actually when we investigate our mind is very scattered and unfocused, keep running around from one thing to another, then changing focus and never settle down. It seems like nothing interests me. And when our mind is unsettled, like scattered around, it may lead to uneasiness and restlessness. And on the other hand, if we are thinking too much, we may feel more and more worried and anxious. What kind of mental state it is? So it's good that our mind is focused when we are thinking, but the focus is on the unhelpful focus. We think about the negative things, think about not so good things, and we drawn into these unhelpful and ruminative thinking, and end up it leads to exhaustion, both mentally and physically. And when you think too much at night, you are still thinking, then you may find it's very hard to sleep. So, how to keep boredom and anxiety at bay and be happy and well staying at home? So the key thing is train our mind to be mindful and to be in the present moment. Hopefully we could be happier according to the study. So let's look at exactly what mindfulness is. Nowadays people are talking about mindfulness. So what exactly it is? So let's see. To summarize, mindfulness is present moment awareness. So I cite some definitions by Dr. John Kabat-Zinn. He says mindfulness means moment-to-moment non-judgmental awareness. And the famous meditation teacher Jack Canfield says mindfulness is loving awareness. So mindfulness means moment-to-moment non-judgmental awareness. It is actually trained by paying attention in an intentional way in the present moment, and then we try to sustain this present focus attention over time as best we can. And also the attitude is very important with non-judgmental and loving attitude. What does it mean? It means seeing things as they are. For example, now we are in a COVID-19 outbreak. By seeing things as they are, it means we are not ignoring, denying the impact of COVID-19 on us, but also at the same time, we are not amplifying or catastrophizing the experience, the impact of COVID-19. So with such training, we can be more in touch with our life as it is. So we won't be carried away by all the negative information, fear and anxiety, but at the same time, we're also seeing COVID-19, seeing the situation as they are, and then we can find a way to try to cope with it. So let's look at mindfulness, how mindfulness could be helpful during this challenging time. Actually, I put out these mindfulness journal articles, the number of journal articles that has been published in the past 40 years. So the application and scientific research of mindfulness has been increasing exponentially. And from the previous study, I summarized some of the evidence-based benefits just to, it's not an exclusive list, but just to summarize a few benefits I think is more relevant to us. So mindfulness, from the research in the past, they found that it could increase the sense of happiness and contentment. It helped to decrease depression, anxiety symptoms. It helped improve social, intimate relationship, help improve the quality of relationship with others. It could also help manage our chronic pain, chronic stress, distress, help reduce stress, and also help improve memory and concentration. It also help improve sleep quality, lower blood pressure, and boost our immune system to keep us well and healthy. And for local studies conducted by Mind Science Center by us, you could visit our website to check out more. So let's look at, just now we investigate the two mental states that we easily fall into. Either we are too bored or we are too worried, anxious at home. So mindfulness, how can it help us to cope with boredom? So it is about mindfulness, bring mindfulness in our daily activity. Be curious. Just now we say boredom is about, nothing seems to interest me. So instead of being bored and nothing interests me, try to bring in this attitude of curiosity. bring this beginner's mind to the present activities you are doing. So explore the present moment with curiosity, even very, very small and routine activities like brushing the teeth or washing your face, washing the plates, cutting the fruits. So if we can bring curiosity to this process, second point, open up all your 5 senses to fully unfold moment-to-moment experience. Yeah. So to unfold the beauty of life, when you engage in your personal hobbies and interests, engage in your exercise, open up all your 5 senses, seeing, hearing, smelling, touching, and tasting. So bring these all in your activities. Maybe you'll find a lot more joy and interest in the seemingly normal activities you are doing. Yeah, and the third point is pay attention to the pleasant experience intentionally, because we all have this negativity bias, especially during the COVID-19. We tend to attend to the negative information and news. So it is a very intentional effort for us to pay attention to the more pleasant things. So making effort to pay attention on the positive things, to guard against the negativity bias. The negativity bias help us to survive, help us to prevent the harm, get rid of the threat, but it's at a cost that make us more anxious or sad. So it's very intentional effort to try to pay attention to the pleasant experience. Then the third point is count your blessings. So after you pay attention to the pleasant experience, you also can record down what you feel grateful about. Record down 10 things you feel grateful about on one day. So do some journaling of those gratitude exercise. Yeah, so be grateful and not taking things for granted and not letting the positive moment to slip away easily. So it could be as simple as, I appreciate I have 2 hands that allow me to cut the fruits, prepare the food for myself. I appreciate my 2 legs that allow me to take a walk, allow me to exercise. I appreciate my eyes for seeing the things surrounding me, seeing the different colors, different shapes. It can be as simple as that. So discover the beauty of life with curiosity and kindness. And on the other hand, so how mindfulness can help us to guard against negative or ruminative thinking that leads to anxiety. The key strategy is to drop the anchor to the present moment. So when we are in the present moment, we are not so easily carried away by ruminations or rumination about the past, worry about the future. Then we become more anxious, or it affects our mood. So train our mind to anchor in the present moment. Our mind is often too scattered and lost in the past or future, creating unnecessary suffering. And second point, there's a saying that pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. So as humans, we all have to go through life. We all have to go through sickness, death, aging, loss. All these are inevitable in life, but suffering could be minimized by not adding on to the pain with unnecessary ruminations and worries. So as previously said, the mind has helped us learn, reason, plan, make sense of the world, but may also backfire sometimes if we don't use it wisely. So it may create unnecessary suffering. Therefore, we need to train, we need to tame our mind. Don't let our mind to dictate us. So one useful strategy is to use the breath as an anchor to anchor us in the present moment. So the breath offers an ever-present focus. Everyone can come back to your body to feel the breath. The breath is with everyone. So the breath offers an ever-present focus on which we can reconnect with the present moment to help us gather and settle the mind. So it helps. So just now, the mindful breathing exercise, it could help us change our mental state from a mindless thinking, doing, reacting mode into a more mindful being in the present moment, being aware and living in the present moment. Yeah, so with the whole introduction of mindfulness, and how mindfulness could help us cope with some emotions while staying at home, like either being too bored or being too worried and anxious. Now let's come back to this mindful breathing exercise again. To receive the gift again, let's practice with this mindful awareness. Are you ready to receive the gift again? Okay, so if you are ready, again, adjust your posture. So this time we'll do a little bit more in the detail because the first time we are doing just to try out and see how our mind works. So this time with a little bit more detailed instruction. So finding a comfortable but yet alert posture. If you are sitting in a chair with your feet flat on the floor, feel the support of your buttocks by the chair and your spine. Straighten your spine a little bit but not too stiff. Shoulders drop, chest open. And slightly tucking in your chin. And when you feel ready, you may close your eyes. And gently, kindly bring your loving awareness to the breath. Focus on the physical sensations of the breath in the body. It could be abdomen. Feel the slight stretch of the abdominal wall. When you breathe in, and feel the abdominal wall falling back when you breathe out. Or you may focus on your chest, expanding of the lungs when you breathe in and deflation of the lungs when you breathe out. Or alternatively, you may focus on the nostrils. Feel the cool air coming in and slightly warmer air going out. Just follow your breath. You may settle on one point in the body that allow you to focus on the breath. It's better to settle on one part of the body rather than changing around, navigating around. So from time to time, you may realize your mind wanders off. Now we know it's perfectly normal for our mind to wander off. This is what our mind does. So if you recognize it went off, just see where it goes. Just gently acknowledge, that's my wandering mind. Then gently and kindly bring your loving awareness back to the present moment, to the focus of the breath. So mindfulness or mindful breathing exercise is not to empty your mind. Mindfulness is about awareness training. It's about training you to be more aware of your mind. Be more aware of where your mind goes. Then intentionally, gently bring your attention back to the chosen focus. So in this exercise, we are focusing on the sensations of breath. Also notice that this breath in and this breath out. Also notice the space, the empty space, the pause in between your in-breath, out-breath, then out-breath, and the following in-breath. Just let your attention follow the breath. And if your mind wanders off 1,000 times, repeat. Just gently take note, acknowledge, it wanders off, and firmly bring your attention back to the breath, to the breath sensations 1,000 times with patience, kindness, and gentle acceptance. Let this exercise become an investigative exercise to explore our mind. Explore our mind with gentleness and kindness. Remember, mindfulness means moment to moment, non-judgmental, loving awareness. So be kind to yourself. Be kind to your mind. Be kind to your body. And in last few moments of this practice, just take a few breaths, maybe last 5 breaths, and gently bring your attention back to this talk. You may move your body a little bit and ease yourself out of this practice and come back to just recap. Remember the key points in this mindful breathing exercise. Pay attention to your breath. And whenever you notice your mind wanders off, just gently acknowledge and firmly bring your attention back to the breathing. And remember to practice step 2 several billion times. You will be better at being mindful. And this also applies to other practice like mindful eating. You can do mindful brushing the teeth, and mindful gardening, mindful exercising, and mindful etc. etc. Any activities, you can do it in a mindful way. This mindful breathing or mindful sitting or mindful walking, all these, the same strategy, the same tips apply, is to pay attention to one thing at one time. Whenever your attention goes off, bring it back gently and firmly, and repeat these 2 steps. Okay, yeah. Lastly, this is my last word. Pay attention wisely. You are what you feed. I put this image is because there's a famous 2 wolves story. So the gist of the story is we all have these 2 wolves living in ourselves. One is evil. He is anger, envy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, superiority, and ego. The other wolf is good. He is joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith. So we all have this fight going on inside each of us, these 2 wolves. The question is, which wolf will win? So the answer is the one you feed. So pay attention wisely. You are what you feed. So lastly, just wish all of us, may we be safe, may we be happy, may we be healthy, and may we attend to the beauty of our life, and don't let the negativity bias to dictate us, especially during this COVID-19 challenging time. Yeah, so now let's go to some Q&A. Oh, it's like I can't see the questions. I will figure out. Let me stop sharing first. Then, okay. See whether I can open up. Okay. Let's see. Q&A. Is the mindfulness exercises actually meditation? Yeah, it's a very good question because people always have this confusion. So I just explain in a simple way. Actually, mindfulness exercise is one tradition of meditation. Meditation, it has different traditions. It has many different types of meditation. And so mindfulness is one tradition of meditation. But on the other hand, meditation is one practice it's one of mindfulness practice, but not all. So it's one form of mindfulness practice is meditation, but mindfulness practice include a lot other practice. The meditation is more, we call it formal mindfulness practice. There are also informal mindfulness practice that is like just now I said, mindfulness in the daily activities that you can do and apply in an easy way. You don't have to sit still and meditate. Yeah, so that's the slight difference between meditation and mindfulness. Yeah, I saw a lot of questions on the differences between mindfulness and meditation. So they are like subset of each other. So another question, if I'm surrounded by negative people, how do I maintain happiness? That's very challenging. If you're surrounded by negative people, it's first we have to acknowledge that it's really quite challenging for you to maintain happiness. That's why we need to train our mind to be more careful, to be more mindful about where we pay our attention to, and be aware of how the negativity from other people has affected you. And with this awareness training, that you are able to know, how now I surrounded by the negative people, then what they say, how it affect me. And then when you're more mindful, you won't be reacting without awareness. You'll be maybe there's awareness space allow you to settle down and ask yourself, so what can I do to help myself? What matters in my life? So with mindfulness awareness training, you can be more mindful and be centered and not to be carried away, be influenced so easily by the negativity in your environment. Question. How can I stop my mind from negative thoughts? The answer is you can't stop. Sadly, you can't stop, but you can manage it. That's why we need to train our mind. So in our life, we have positive thoughts, we have negative thoughts, we have neutral thoughts. These thoughts are all product of our psychological mental processes that's in response to our environment. If bad thing happen, of course we'll have negative thoughts. If a bad thing happened to you, I lost my job, I am still happy. It doesn't sound very normal, right? Yeah. So negative thoughts is part of our life, same as positive thoughts is also our part of life. So be mindful of positive one, negative one, and neutral one. And more important is, what do you choose to respond with? How do you want to respond to your negative thoughts? Whether you listen to them and let them carry you away and you feel very sad and anxious and worried, fearful, or whether you can bring yourself back, ground yourself and anchor yourself in the present moment, and try not to let the negative thoughts to affect you too much. Wow, so many questions. Is there a 15-30 minutes mindfulness exercise you can recommend to do daily? Yeah, so to start with, you can 15-30 minutes is quite a good moderate duration. You can do the traditional sitting meditation. Today we try mindful breathing, but when you do the mindfulness meditation, you will focus on different objects of focus. You will focus on mindfulness of the breath, the body, even the thoughts and the emotions. So you can do mindful like the traditional sitting meditation. And the other exercise to start with, also you could try the body scan. Body scan is an exercise to scan through the different parts, scan through the physical sensations of your different parts throughout. And this is also a very useful practice to train our body awareness. When we are more aware about our body, actually the body is able to tell you a lot of information. Yeah, try it out. Body scan. How about dealing with restlessness? Yeah, so dealing with restlessness again, to simply put, go back to this anchoring mindfulness practice. Try your best to train your attention to bring attention back to the present focus. And you could start with bringing attention back to your breath, your body. And if you are too restless and too anxious, you can also do some mindful walking. Sometimes the movement allows us to focus more easily than if we're sitting still. Then the more we sit, the more we become very restless. I don't want to sit, I can't sit still. So if you're really very, very restless, my recommendation is do a mindful exercise, some stretching exercise, or do a mindful walking exercise. Focus on your sensations of the movement of the body, focus on the steps, the feet, the legs when you walk. Then slowly be more centered, be more grounded with yourself, your breath and the body. Then you can slowly come back to a relatively more calm state. Yeah, question 7. How to stop the mind from overthinking things? Yes, same. The answer is you can't stop, but you can. It's like we can't stop the wave, but we can learn to surf the wave. Learn to manage your overthinking first by acknowledge your mind. Oh, my mind is doing this overthinking work now. Then you acknowledge, oh, this is my overthinking mind. Then okay, let me come back intentionally, come back to the present moment. If I'm eating, come back to the eating. If I'm walking, come back to the walking. If I'm breathing, just now we did the practice, then come back to the breathing. So we can't stop thinking, but we can pause and interrupt this never-ending storytelling mind. So hopefully the one thought doesn't become a whole story. We can't totally stop the thinking, but we can make it more manageable with mindfulness training. Any specific exercise for anxiety? Just now, so as I said, if you are having, for example, for people with panic attacks or having more extreme anxiety, it's better to start with some mindful movement exercise. Because it's usually when we are anxious, we are too focused on our breath, and we may, when I ask you to focus on the breath, and then you become more nervous and anxious. And if that's the case, then please stop doing the mindful breathing or mindful like sitting still exercise. Please step out and do some exercise and anchor yourself with the movement. That is better for anxiety. Bring attention to breath is difficult. Feel constricted in the chest. How to better do it? So just now we say mindfulness is loving awareness. So if you feel constricted in your chest, be kind to yourself and acknowledge, and slowly just slow down your breath. And maybe with curiosity and kindness, try to investigate this constriction in your chest. What does it feel like? Investigate as a curious scientist. And just with patience, Also with patience and slowly, intentionally, maybe slow down your breathing a little bit. Let go of these judgmental thoughts about, oh, my chest is so constricted or I can't focus. So it's so easy, like when we practice this, then when we feel uneasiness, we feel unpleasant sensations, it is very normal that we find something unpleasant, because mindfulness training is not, it's strictly saying not a relaxation training. It is to train your awareness to understand yourself better. So understand your constricted sensations in the chest and be kind to yourself. Maybe with your hand over your chest and soothing and touch and send some warmth to your chest, and gently slow down your breathing. And if the sensation is still there, just acknowledge. Maybe because today you are too tired, or maybe there are very high workload, like work stress, or maybe you just had a quarrel with family members. Maybe there's other thing that is causing this constriction in the chest. So just acknowledge slowly and let go of the judgmental thoughts like, oh, I can't do it, or it's so difficult. So just let it be. So another question. Okay. In our last exercise, I nearly dozed off. Why is it so? So when we focus, though just now I say relaxation is not the purpose of mindfulness training, but it could be the byproduct. When we focus on one thing at one time, this sense of relaxation naturally comes, because in other times that we are too busy with our thoughts, like our mind is so busy, then we are running around. Then when the time we really focus on one thing, then suddenly this sense of relaxation and calmness may come. Then you may feel very comfortable and the sleepiness may come. Or it could be because you're really tired. Then just give yourself a good rest. It's very common, like in the practice, people will doze off. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Last question. Okay, I'll try to see. There's another question. Greatest problem is sleepless nights, more than 2 years. Any advice? It is very hard to answer this question with such a short time frame. If your sleepless insomnia is really causing you significant distress, my advice is to seek professional help. There's also mindfulness, cognitive behavioral therapy to address address insomnia issues. For this, you can check out online. There's some resources on the body scan exercise. Basically, it's about sense the different sensation, different parts of your body, and directly sensing the body sensations. Is anxiety a result of lack of mindfulness? It is possible, though anxiety is a bit complicated. It has both biopsychosocial factors, but mindfulness is a very helpful training for people with anxiety, because anxiety, the key maintaining factor is about our overthinking, worry. If with mindfulness training we can be more aware of this worrying mind, overthinking mind, and try to pause and bring our back to the present moment, it will be very beneficial to reduce the anxiety. at least alleviate symptoms. Yeah. So okay, so that's about the questions and the Q&A. Okay, if you do not have other questions, let's just end this talk. So lastly, I'll encourage everyone to do a short mindful breathing. Start from brief mindfulness exercise. It could be what we practice today, mindful breathing, or it could be other exercise. You can check out our Mind Science Center website and also Facebook on more mindfulness resources and programs, and also other active lifestyle e-learning modules. And also stay tuned to NSA e-nugget series for the talks that hope all these will benefit you to help you stay well and healthy and happy during these challenging times, this stay home challenge that we are all having. Okay, yeah, so that's all for today's talk. Thank you everybody for your participation and your very valuable questions, and hope my answers has been helpful to you, and hope the talk and the exercise is give you some insight on how you could manage and keep well and healthy, happy at home. Okay.
Stay tuned for the next session of the NSA e-nugget series, which goes live every Tuesday and Friday at 2 p.m. on C3A's Facebook page. You can check out the talk schedule at www.c3a.org.sg and for more resources on how you can age well. For more enquiries, you can call 6478 5026. Thanks for watching. See you soon.